You think powerlifting is about strength, big weights, big arms, big respect. But you don't know the real part, the quiet part, the part that sucks. You don't know what it's like to walk into a gym and feel like you've already failed before the first rep. To lie in bed the night before and feel your spine scream, praying your body holds up tomorrow. To train not for glory, but to prove to yourself that your mind's not broken like your knees. You want the truth? Being a powerlifter sucks. It's not glory, it's not medals, it's not applause, it's ice packs taped to skin. It's lifting when nobody watches. It's bleeding into your socks and shaking under a bar that could end you. It's pain wrapped in discipline, ego swallowed by silence, and respect that only shows up after you collapse. Let's talk about why it really sucks to be a powerlifter. You're 14 when you pick up your first weight. Too small to matter, too angry to care. You don't know what you're doing. Just that something in you wants to grow. The first time you bench press, your arms shake. The bar feels like it's made of iron and shame. You rack it early, face red, pride bruised. But that night, your chest burns. And weirdly, you like it. You're not fast, not tall, not cool. But here, in this world of steel and struggle, you feel something click. Nobody cheers. Nobody cares. But for the first time in your life, you feel strong. Not in the way people talk about strength, but in the way you walk home. Back straight, shoulders proud. Like maybe, just maybe, you're more than what people think. Your notebook becomes a graveyard of numbers, reps, sets, rest, volume. Everything becomes math. Everything becomes war. Friends start skipping workouts. You don't. They party, you deadlift. They sleep in, you grind at 5 a.m. Your body screams, but you stop listening. Pain becomes normal. Food becomes fuel. Sleep becomes optional. Your wrists ache. Your knees creak. Your back starts talking in a language you don't understand. But you don't stop. You can't, because every pound you lift feels like revenge. Revenge on everyone who overlooked you, on the kids who laughed, on the teachers who called you lazy, on the voice in your head that still whispers, you're nothing. You don't want to be strong. You want to be undeniable. Then you hit the wall. Weeks go by. No PR, no growth. Just the same numbers mocking you. You try more food, more rest, more programming. Nothing works. The bar feels heavier. Your body doesn't fire like it used to. And the worst part, people stop asking how your lifts are going. They think you quit. They don't understand this part. The part where the bar doesn't move, but you show up anyway. You train through the silence, through the soreness, through the static. This is where most people quit. But you don't. You scream into empty gyms. You chalk your hands like you're about to go to war. You cry in the locker room where no one can see. Because deep down, you know, real strength isn't built on PR days. It's built on the ones where nothing moves and you show up anyway. It's a normal session. Squat day, heavy triple. You warm up, ankles tight. You feel off, but you're stubborn. You unrack the bar. Down, pause, drive, pop. Your knee buckles. You scream before you hit the floor. Gym goes silent. Everyone freezes. Pain floods your body like lightning. You can't stand. You can't speak. You can't believe it. Weeks become months. MRIs, braces, ice. You watch your quads disappear. You feel like you're shrinking. And inside, you're scared, not of pain, but of being forgotten. Because powerlifting didn't just make you strong, it made you someone. And now, you're just a guy who used to lift. You don't realize how lonely this sport is until you're on the floor alone after a missed lift. No coach, no crowd, no teammates, just silence. People think strength sports are loud, but the hardest reps happen in silence. When you're at the bar at 6 a.m. and nobody else is there. When you pull 500 and no one claps. When you hit a PR and the only voice that says "good job" is your own. No medals, no spotlight, no instant glory. Only bruises and unfinished reps. And the worst part? Nobody outside this world understands. You tell someone you squatted 600. They say, "Cool, so what?" They don't get it. They don't get what it cost, what it took, what you gave up. That's why this sport sucks, because it demands everything and gives you almost nothing in return. But somehow, you return. Not because you're healed, not because it's easy, but because you have to. The weights don't care. The bar still weighs the same. And that's why you love it. There's no lies here, no fake smiles. Just iron and gravity and pain. You limp back in. You grab the bar. It feels like starting over. And in a way, it is. You don't lift for records anymore. You lift to remind yourself you're not dead. You lift because it's the only time your mind shuts up. Because in a world full of noise, this is your silence. And when that bar moves again for the first time, even just an inch, you smile. Not because you're strong again, but because you didn't quit. You miss birthdays, skip weddings, turn down vacations. Why? Because you have a meet, because you're cutting weight, because you're chasing a number only 5 people in the world care about. You eat chicken from plastic containers while your friends toast champagne. You trade sleep for training, comfort for pain, ease for fire. You hurt, you hide it, you lift anyway, and no one claps. No one says thank you, because this sport doesn't owe you anything. You give your body, your time, your sanity, and in return, just the chance to stand under a bar and say, "I'm still here." It's meet day. You step onto the platform. Lights, silence, bar loaded. Your heart pounds. Everyone's watching. But it feels like it's just you and the bar. You smell ammonia. Chalk your hands. Close your eyes. And in that moment, every missed lift, every injury, every sacrifice, it all melts away. It's just you and the weight. You squat, you press, you pull. Not for the crowd, not for the medal, for you. Because in that moment, for those 9 lifts, you're not broken, you're not tired, you're not forgotten, you're alive.